So, how much money did YouTube pay me in 2021? $2,659.97. Sort of. Hey guys, it's Olivia and I'm back with another video. So last year I made this exact video. I made a video talking about how much YouTube paid me in 2020, and now I am back making a video talking about how much YouTube made me in 2021. So if you watched last year's video, you know that I have two YouTube channels and I also do affiliate marketing in order to increase my overall revenue. And so the number that I just shared with you is the amount of money I made from my main channel. So that is a portion of how much I made from YouTube, which is why I said this is how much I made, sort of, because there's a little bit more to it. So let's dive into how much I truly made in 2021. So here we are on my revenue tab on my main channel, and as you can see, I made $2,659.97. And my RPM was $5.16 and my CPM was $14.21. So if we want to look at how much I made monthly, if we go to my overview, so starting in January of 2021, I made $229.46, then $205.18, $228.69, $181.40, $229.52, $183.52, $195.11, $208.43, $249.78, $250.57, $236.79, and $261.55. So then going back to the yearly breakdown, this year I got 515,667 views, which is actually less than last year. So if I hover over here, I am down 14% views from last year. If we go over to my watch time, I got 30,795.9 watch hours, which is down 14% from last year. And if we go over to my subscribers, I got 2,929 subscribers, which is down 27% from last year. So all of my metrics are down except for my revenue. So I got less views, less watch time, less subscribers, but I made more money. And that's because, as we saw from my revenue tab, my RPM and CPM increased. So I got less views, but I was making more money per view, which is why I ended up making more money overall. And this is all revenue for a channel with 9,608 subscribers. Your number of subscribers doesn't directly correlate to the amount of money you make, but I just thought I'd throw that number out there. Then moving on to my second channel, this is my classical music channel, and last year I made $783.11. My RPM was $2.48 and my CPM was $8.01. So then if we want to look at the monthly breakdown, starting in January of 2021, I made $81.44, then $68.74, $82.16, $55.96, $62.27, $66.90, $57.51, $51.11, $64.54, $60.75, $68.08, and $63.66. And then if we want to look at the overview of my other stats, this year I got 315,939 views, and if we hover over this tab, we see that is actually down 8% from last year. I got 4,084 watch hours, which is down 7% from last year. I got 673 subscribers, which is down 12% from last year, but my revenue is up 101%. And the reason for that is last year, I was only monetized for half of the year. So my revenue was only calculated from August to December. So this is my first full year being monetized on this channel. So obviously I made more money. And these are all stats for a channel with 2,722 subscribers. One more thing I want to point out. You see this play button right here. The play button represents how many videos you've uploaded in that month. So for example, if we go back over to my main channel, all of these are all the videos I uploaded throughout the year. And as you can see, there are so many of these little squares because I upload every single week on this channel. But then when we go back over to my classical music channel, there's just one. I uploaded one video this whole year. on January 9th, 2021. And I am filming this on January 3rd, 2022. So it's been pretty much 1 year since I've uploaded to this channel, and I still managed to make $783. So YouTube can be passive. Once again, I said this last year, there are over 300 videos on my classical music channel. So yes, initially I put a lot of work into this channel. I was uploading very regularly. I never had a schedule, but it was like whenever I finished a video, I'd upload it, and I would upload multiple videos every week. I have probably nearly 400 videos on this channel, so that backlog of videos continues to make me money. So you can't upload one video ever and expect to make almost $800 a year, but once you have those hundreds of videos, you can pretty much stop uploading and still make money. Obviously, the more videos you upload, the more money you make, hence why I make more money on this channel than I do on my classical music channel. But YouTube can become a passive income stream if you have enough backlog. So that's just something to think about. So if we add the revenue from both of my channels, this year I made $3,443.08 from YouTube ad revenue. So now we're done with looking at my YouTube ad revenue, and now we're going to move over to affiliate marketing revenue. So I use my YouTube channels to drive traffic to other platforms, and if people go to those platforms and they purchase something, I get a percentage because I was the person who referred that person to that item or that platform. So I'm a part of 3 affiliate/referral programs, and I'm going to put them in order from the least amount of money I made to the most. So first we're going to start with a website called Sheet Music Plus, which is a sheet music website where people can buy the sheet music from the songs that they listened to on my classical music channel. So as you can see, my grand total is $9.04. But I didn't make that all this year. So if you watched my video last year, I made $6.16 from Sheet Music Plus. And I said that you don't get paid out till you get to $20. So this $9.04 is including my $6.16 from last year, which means this year I only made $2.88 from selling sheet music. It's not a whole lot, but at least it's something. Then moving on to my second affiliate stream where I made a lot more than $2.88, we're moving on to Amazon affiliates. So through Amazon, I was able to make $355.47. So if we break that down a little bit further, $347.47 was from commissions, which is I link a product and someone buys that product, I get a percentage. And then $8 is from bounties, which is when someone signs up for one of Amazon's subscriptions. So for example, if I scroll down, you can see that in November, someone signed up for Prime Student and I got $3 for that. And then in December, someone signed up for Audible and I got $5 for that. So if someone clicks my link and then signs up for one of Amazon's subscriptions, I also get money for that. But obviously the large chunk of the money comes from commissions. So if we want to look at my commissions breakdown monthly, in January I made $22.88, then $35.70, $39.84, $21.73, $23.87, $20.19, $43.29, $64.28, $25.95, $25.38, $16.35, and $5.01. And then if we want to look at some other metrics, if you're curious, I got 25,818 clicks on the links that I was sharing. Of those clicks, 685 orders were placed. 645 of those orders were actually shipped because people can cancel. 99 of those items were returned. So if you got a commission of $2 and then someone returns that item, you lose the $2. So the number shown here is after subtractions. So my conversion click-through rate, how many people saw my links versus how many people clicked, is 2.65%. And this is the amount of money that Amazon made. They made $10,047.60. And I got my $347.47. But one thing I do want to say, and this is something I forgot to do last year, but I'm not going to forget this year, I'm Canadian. All the numbers I've shown you up until this point have been in Canadian dollars, but from Amazon, these numbers are in US dollars. So I made $355.47 USD. So if we do a quick conversion, $355.47 USD is $453.36 CAD. So I made $450 from Amazon, not $350, because I converted it to my currency. And then the last affiliate slash referral program that I'm a part of is Uber Eats. So I am an Uber Eats driver, and if you refer people to become drivers, then you get a certain amount. It varies by referral. Sometimes I've gotten as little as $10, and other times I've gotten as much as $800. So for some unknown reason, it never wants to show up on my computer, but it does show up on my phone. So it adds up all the money I made from referrals total, which includes money I made from 2020. So the total amount of money I've made from referrals is $4,120. But in 2020, I made $1,820. So if we subtract that $1,820, we find out how much I made in 2021, which is $2,300, referring people to be Uber and or Uber Eats drivers. So I got 6 referrals this year, and I'm going to hide their names, but this is how much I made from each of those referrals, and when you add them together, it is $2,300. So if we add up all the money I made from affiliate marketing, Sheet Music plus Amazon plus Uber Eats, I made $2,756.24. But one thing I am sad to say, I will no longer be making money from Uber referrals. I am still an Uber Eats driver, but if you watched this video, then you know that Uber has made it so you can only refer a total of 10 people, and I've already referred 14 people, so I will no longer get a referral bonus even if someone signs up under my link. So in 2020, I made over $1,800 from Uber Eats. In 2021, I made $2,300 from Uber Eats, and that is no longer going to be an option for me in 2022, but I have made over $4,000 referring people to Uber Eats, so it was good while it lasted. So if we add up how much money I made from YouTube ad revenue plus the amount of money I made through affiliate marketing, I made $6,199.32 this year, which is up from last year. I don't remember the exact amount of money I made. I'll put the number here. But yes, so it's not a drastic increase, but it's definitely an increase. And that's what I'm trying to do. Like, I still don't make enough money to move out of my parents' house or anything like that, but I just want to continually make more every year. I want to know that I'm going in the right direction, and I still am. In regards to my ad revenue, I have been getting less views and less subscribers and less watch time, yet I've still been making more money, and that's because my CPM and RPM have gone up. You can't really control your RPM and CPM, but certain types of videos make more money. And so basically what I'm saying is, if I continue to make good content, then even if the other numbers falter, then my revenue can still go up, and hopefully one day I'll be able to do this full time. So yeah, I am content with the amount of money I made this year because it is more than last year. It's not an extravagant amount of money. I'm still in the 4-figure range. Maybe in 2022 I can make 5 figures, fingers crossed, we'll see. But I'm just trying to gain a little bit more every year, and I've done that, so I have achieved my goal. And so yes, that is my total revenue that I've made from YouTube ad revenue, as well as driving my YouTube audience to other places in 2021. So that's all for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you think your friends will enjoy it, be sure to share it with them. All my social media links will be down below in case you want to follow me on there. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make new videos every Monday, and be sure to check out one of these suggested videos, and I'll see you next Monday with a new video.